In terms of the evidence or anything that was reported back to you as the lead detective in this case that was recovered from the street surface of Miramar Parkway between I-75 and 184th?
There was no evidence recovered at all.
To 1840. Were any man purses, satchels found in that gray Jeep?
No, ma'am.
Specifically, the beige one that's pictured at 21840.
No, ma'am, we did not recover that.
Continuing forward to 21905. Was a black satchel recovered?
No, ma'am.
Specifically the one that is seen in the individual in the black and white jacket?
Correct.
Okay. Did Mr. Henry have possession of either of those satchels or man purses at the hospital?
No, ma'am. These are snapshots of the video from the McDonald's, the corner of 172 and Miramar Parkway. But you can see at 3:46 a.m. you see a red vehicle going by, a red SUV, and then at 3:46:57 you see a silver SUV going by, which was consistent with the two vehicles.
Detective Marty, is this the footage you obtained from the Montessori Academy?
Yes, ma'am.
The video that says U.S. Tower East View. What direction, cardinal direction, does it face?
It's facing towards the east, capturing vehicles going westbound.
Were you aware of the video surveillance camera system?
Yes.
And as property manager, did you have access to those cameras?
Yes.
And those cameras recorded the front entrance gate at the 40th Street location?
Yes.
And those cameras were actually stored within that security guard gate?
Yes.
How is that gate operated? Like, for instance, is there a live person? Is it automated?
A live person 24/7.
Okay, so and a guard is essentially stationed at that gate.
Yes.
And how does one enter that development, specifically the 40th Street entrance?
Either by phone call to the residence or be on the list.
So essentially you have to be authorized to enter.
Yes.
And are there any requirements for identification or anything of the sort?
Your driver license will be scanned.
And is that whether or not?
And the registered tag will be also recorded.
Okay. And so, for instance, if I want to visit that location and I'm entering the 40th Street, I need to have permission and an identification card.
Yes, yes, driver license. Driver license.
That we see on the right side, that's the south side of the road,
That is correct.
and there are no power lines on the north side of the road.
That is correct.
Okay. You indicated that there were other investigators on scene as well.
That is correct.
Is this some of the canine officers you were discussing?
Correct.
So again, looking in an eastern direction, but now focusing on the south side of the road. Can you describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury some of the yellow and orange markers and what they're there for?
Yes. So the Yellow and orange markers are there to help depict items of evidence that can't necessarily be seen as they are maybe covered by the shrubs or the grass.
So moving on, what direction are you facing in this photograph here?
Facing towards the west.
And so at the end of this street here, what road is this?
On the end there is US 27.
Okay. The items that we see here, the flags, do they correspond with a photo marker or are they indicating something else?
So they may be corresponding with the, they have a photo marker next to it, but they depict the actual pieces of evidence.
Okay. So going on to this next photo, again with the power lines looking at the south side of the street. How many items did you indicate with photo markers on the south side of the street?
7.
And so on the north side of the street, how many items did you indicate with photo markers?
3.
Do they continue in sequential order?
Yes, they do.
1 through 7 is on the south side, 8, 9, and 10 on the north side.
Correct.
Again, showing 8, 9, and 10 on the north. So I'm going to go back to item number 1, back on the south side. Can you describe what we're looking at in this photo here with photo marker number 1?
Yes. So the shell casing, spent casing, that's it.
Okay. That's that particular item?
That is correct.
Was this item collected?
Yes, it was.
Why do you take multiple photographs from different angles of these items?
Just to get an overall depiction of the specific item, and then also accounting for lighting or better visibility of the item.
And the glass appearing object underneath the casing. Did you collect any of that specific glass right there?
I do not believe it.
Why not?
I think after discussing with the investigators, did not believe that it was in reference or pertaining to the case item.
Okay. Did it have any characteristics of auto glass?
Objection beyond the scope
If she
of
knows.
her expertise.
Thank you. First, establish that she may know something about this.
So, Investigator Curry, in part of your training in crime scene, is it determining what evidence may be something that would be collect?
Yes, it is.
In terms of the facts of the case, is that something that you're familiar with and you familiarize yourself with to know what types of evidence may exist?
Correct.
For glass and glassware, do you have any training in identifying potential sources of glass or other items that may be of evidence you're done?
Yes, I do.
With regards to the glass in the Jeep that was found at the hospital, had you had the opportunity to view that Jeep prior to November 21st of 2018?
Yes, I have.
The glass that was in the Jeep, was that consistent with the glass that is there in this photo marker number 1?
No, it was not.
Moving on to photo marker number 2. What are we looking at in this particular image?
So the glass fragments are in the glass.
Going now to photo marker number 2, the next image. Can you describe to ladies and gentlemen how you're taking this photo?
So it is considered a close-up photograph of the glass fragments. It is at 90 degrees directly over the glass that was on the ground.
Moving on to photo marker number 3. What was significant with photo marker number 3?
I would have to, are you able to zoom in? Is there another photograph? Or if I can refer to my report?
You can refer to your report. Would that help in refreshing your recollection as to photo number 3?
Yes, it would.
Okay. Council, do you need to see the report? Same report? Just Mr.
Same
Fisher?
report I have it, thank you.
Okay, and draw your attention to the third photograph. In reviewing that, is your memory now sufficiently refreshed?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so in this photograph here, what are we looking at?
Glass fragments.
And could you kind of circle it on the screen so it's clear to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what we're... Those look different than the last glass fragments
Yes, they
we
are.
were looking at. How are they different so it's clear on the record?
It appears to be a tint or a darker color.
Moving on to photo markers, and so for this is the establishing shot for which 4 photo markers?
4, 5, 6, and 7.
Okay. Going to the close-up of photo marker number 4. What was the important item of evidence in this photo?
Spent casing.
Okay. There's a scale on each photo marker. Why is that?
We're able to document the size of the specific item in the picture or that photograph.
And are all of these items later on collected?
Yes, they are.
Going on to photo marker number 5. I'm going to start with the item to the left here. What is that?
Spent casing.
Okay. Moving over to the right of photo marker number 5. What is that?
Spent casing.
Did you collect both of those 2 spent casings?
That is correct.
Okay. And in terms of another view of these 2 casings on number 5, is that what we're looking at here?
That is correct.
Moving on to photo marker number 6. What? I'm going to move into the closer up one for photo marker number 6. I'm going to start to the one to the left. What is that?
Spent casing.
Okay. Is that the same one that was next to photo marker number 5?
Not to my knowledge.
And to the right, photo marker number 6.
It's another spent casing.
Going on to photo marker number 7. What are we looking at in photo marker number 7?
Spent casing.
Were all of these spent casings of the same caliber when you collected them?
Yes, they were.
Okay. Again, last photo here of number 7.
Spent casing.
Moving on to the north side of the street on 8, 9, and 10. What did you collect at photo marker number 8?
Glass fragments.
Is that a view of those glass fragments?
Yes, it is.
Moving on to photo marker number 9. What did you collect at this location?
Glass fragments.
Moving on to photo marker number 10. What did you collect at this location?
Glass fragments.
We're looking here now at the one of the last 2 photos. What is this photo depicting?
Measuring or a detective utilizing a measurement device.
And what is that measurement device?
It measures distance. It's a yardstick or meter stick.
What road is it facing in what direction?
It is still facing Hines Boulevard. It's facing west. And it would actually capture vehicles going east and west, but it's more focused on vehicles going eastbound.
Detective Reddy, in reviewing this footage at 406, was there a dark colored vehicle traveling westbound?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there a red vehicle traveling westbound in connection with
East or west, no red vehicle was driving.
that was at 353 as well?
353 as well as 406, there was just the one solo vehicle traveling by itself.
Is an ER building on the north side and a medical office building on the south side. So this entrance that you're seeing now is actually facing Pembroke Road. You would go south to go to the ER from Pembroke. So this is the sidewalk portion I was telling you about. Immediately on the bottom left corner of the screen with those white dashes, that's where the cars drive through. The dashes are for them to see pedestrians just walking across into the ER. Then there's a sidewalk portion, and these are the two doors of the ER. The left door on the left side of the video is the ER adult entrance, and the right is the pediatric entrance, but it's one big area. And then in the middle is the park bench. Right behind that glass is a security desk. I'm sitting in the middle of both of those doors.
And that subject that we see in the video,
That's the gentleman that approached me.
we see a second individual in the video frame. Can you recognize that person?
Yeah, that's me.
Is this the where you indicated to us earlier that you had him sit down, Cortlen Henry?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you can't see the Jeep in the video frame, is that correct?
Yes.
The Jeep would be located at the bottom left, my left of the
Yes.
screen?
Yes.
Okay. And I noticed that you approached and you were talking into something. What was that?
That's my patrol radio.
Okay. Was that your how you were able to request assistance?
Yes, ma'am.
Continuing to publish.
That's me telling security guard I need medical staff. I'm putting on gloves to check for pulse.
And I see you're continuing to talk to that subject that you identified as Cortlen Henry.
Yes, ma'am.
And I see at this point, it looks like some other officers are responding.
Yes, ma'am.
Are those officers at the Miramar Police Department as well?
Yes, ma'am. That's going to be Officer Natasha Torres. And that's going to be Officer Hedgen.